Graphing sine and cosine functions, we're going to continue with our translations. And so remember that our amplitude is absolute value of A, so whatever the front value is. The period is 2 pi over B, so whatever that B value is. Remember that it's y equals A sine B times x, and that, or y equals A cosine of b times x. So what I want you to do just in these next examples here, 1 through 8, is to just identify the amplitude and the period of the function. So go ahead and pause it and then try this out, and then I'll have the answers for you once you return. So here are the answers for all of these practice problems. Notice that for number 6 and number 8, the amplitude is positive. The amplitude is not negative. Remember that it's the absolute value of that. So it's positive a half, and this one is 2. We just want to find the amplitude. The negative tells us something else differently. So let's take a look at what we remember about translating. Remember that when we shift f of x up, we do that by saying we have f of x plus some k value. If we want to shift down, that's f of x minus k on the outside. To shift left, that is f of x and then plus h inside. Then we know f of x minus h for a shift to the right. Amplitude is the absolute value of A. It's half the distance from the maximum and the minimum. The period is the horizontal length of the cycle, is a horizontal length of a cycle. So we know that as 2 pi over b. So when we translate sine and cosine functions, we have, to translate up, we have y equals sine of x plus k, and then, or y equals cosine of x plus k. To shift down, we're just going to subtract on the outside, minus k, and then, or y equals cosine of x minus k. For left, that is y equals sine of x plus h, or y equals cosine of x minus h. To the right, it's y equals sine of x minus h. It's the opposite because it's what makes it 0. Then y equals cosine of x, no, this would be a plus, sorry, x minus h. So to graph a sine and cosine function, you need to identify the amplitude, which is our a value, Then you need to identify the period, which is 2 pi over b. Then you need to take a look at any horizontal shift. Horizontal shift, when it's inside, it's our h value. You also need to take a look at the vertical shift of the graph, which is our k value, adding up or subtracting. Then what you're going to do is you're going to draw the midline of the graph at y equals k. Then you're going to find the 5 key points of the graph. Okay, 5 key points on the graph. Labeling x-axis with those with the 4 points plus a 0, 4 points. I guess 5 points. And then as well as labeling and label the max and minimums on the y-axis. Then step 4, you're going to graph or draw the smooth curve between all of the points. Draw a smooth curve through all 5 points. And we're only graphing one period. So let's take a look at example 1 and 2. And actually, you can do this because this is just shifting up and down. Oh, no, not yet. You can't do this yet. Let's do this together. So our amplitude in this case is 1. There was no horizontal shifting, so it's NA. Our period is still 2 pi. There is no change here. But we do have a vertical shift of 3. So we're going to draw a midline of the graph at 3. Y equals 3. So this is 3. We know that it's going to go up to 4 and down to 5. For sine value, it's going to start at the 0, but our 5 key points on y equals k, we know that the period is 2 pi. So we label 2 pi. Then half of 2 pi is pi. The half of pi is pi over 2. Then this is 3 pi over 2. So again, this is the bare minimum that you need to label on the graph. All 4 points on the x-axis as well as the maximum and minimum points you're going to draw through for the graph. Our minimum or our maximum is 4. Oh, I should be able to label these correctly here. I should go up to 3. 5, 3, wow. 3, 4, and then down here is 2. So our maximum is 4, minimum is 2. So because it shifted up 3, we're going to start at our midline here. Then it goes up to 4 pi over 2, then it's at that midline at pi, then it's at 2 for 3 pi over 2, then it is back at our midline at 2 pi here. So there's our graph of sine. So go ahead and try the example below, cosine x plus 4, as well as the next 2 examples, sine of x minus 2 and 3 cosine of x minus 1. The answers will be on the next video.